itself and our vibrational frequency, especially with going into what you've been talking about. I mean, do you think that with us perhaps increasing our frequency, that also meshes with the earth? Do you even think that perhaps the frequency of the earth is changing as well?
Yes, that's why I balk at stating that the specific Schumann frequency of 7.83 is what we have today, because it has been changing, and a lot of people are reporting that changing. I like the number 7.83 because if you add up those numbers, you got 7 and 3, that's 10, and plus 8, that's 18, and then 1 plus 8 is 9. What I would do if I were you to check this out, I would divide 528 by 7.83 and see if you come up with a rational number or an irrational number. And that's how I'm judging myself right now, how I judge, let's say, for example, the legitimacy of those parties who are declaring 432 hertz frequency as being a blessed healing frequency. If you divide 528 by 432, for example, you come out with a rational number. Likewise, the reverse is true. You can take 432 divided by 528, you still have a rational number. So what I'm basing this answer on is the magnificent revelations in the book of 528, Prosperity Key of Love, that deal with the difference between rational numbers, which are based on resonance and harmonics within whole number ratios that are fundamentally tied to the 9 numbers, 1 through 9. 10s really are 1 plus 0. 11 is 1 plus 1, that's 2, because there's only 9 numbers in God's language, and then the frequencies that come off of that are basically harmonics, and in the whole number ratios and or rational number system, they fall. And man's numbers don't give us what we want. They don't provide that eternal sustenance and most effective, most powerful healing energy or even revelation for science and expression through the arts. So, in essence, yes, cosmos is changing, Earth polarity is changing. I'm informed that based on the alleged earthquake, more likely a nuclear attack off the Japanese coast that caused the tsunami, and the nuclear catastrophe that was, according to the evidence that I'm looking at, most likely generated as, again, part of the globalist agenda, that the concept that the Schumann resonance or other frequencies of the earth are dramatically changing. In fact, I believe Mother Earth is crying in that way. It's crying out, and that dissonance, that energy, let's even consider it wobbling of our planet that wasn't happening 100 years ago, is having an impact on the rest of the cosmos, because it's all really operating, again, musically, mathematically, according to a matrix, a musical mathematical matrix that the religious world calls the law. It is the word, it is the way in which the universe is constructed perfectly in harmony and balance. And that, concept of sin means in the Greek archery term to be off the mark. Your arrow sinned when it didn't hit the bullseye. And the concept that when you're not in sync, you're not in phase coherence or phase locked to love, 528 in the matrix, the dissonance is going to go out, and your karma or judgment, you're going to get whacked, because you can't go against the flow of the universe. The Illuminati are so damn stupid. I mean, for not even realizing, it's kind of like they're playing, we're all characters in a play here on Earth, and I guess that's Shakespeare. But the reality is that, these people are so stupid to think that what they're doing here on this planet is going to be empowered, enabled to overcome the forces of the universe. I mean, if God wanted this planet polluted, he would have done it. And if the matrix of mathematics that sustains the cosmos wanted Earth to wobble, it would have happened already. So the fact that we're blasting nuclears that are creating wobbling and dissonance and changes in the frequency of energy that we rely on, and as well as all of biology depends on for sustenance, gee whiz, you got to be a complete blithering idiot or else just totally satanic, totally into evil, just engaged in profiteering off of humanity's suffering in service to the Antichrist or the anti-God or whatever it is that you want to call it. It ain't smart, or it ain't sustainable, and it's not loving. It's not compassionate. This energy of dissonance can't hold in a universe that is constructed fundamentally in love and harmony.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ded. Thank you, Len. Yes, I think it's also a sign of desperation by the elites. Romans, you have a question for Len?
Yes, I do. Dr. Len, with revolutions occurring across the Middle East and North Africa, along with protests in the UK and Wisconsin, a man who all of us here tonight respect very much has suggested that an avenue toward taking action to influence and take power away from the system controllers, and even correcting some of the injustice and righting some of the wrongs in the universe, is to employ a tactic or technique of shunning those responsible. What would you say is your position or thoughts on such a notion?
Totally applaud that. Absolutely. That's exactly what's necessary. That is the prescription for success. That's the only rational, reasonable reason when faced with the insanity and hypocrisy, the genocidal lunacy that's unfolding. It's shunning it. It's turning the damn televisions. In fact, don't even just turn it off. Take that television set and throw it out their window. And if you want to celebrate, take a baseball bat and smash the hell out of it. It's ridiculous. It's literally having them give a war with nobody showing up to fight it. This is what's necessary. And it's not about taking up weapons and further creating conflict. It's about shunning, what they're setting us up for, particularly in the United States. You can see how they're using race again, their religious issues, Muslims against Christians, and there's a lot of disgusting rhetoric and argument over building mosques and 9/11 in the scene of the inside trader's crime. And ultimately, the division of we the people is abhorrent, especially when we understand that we all want the same fundamental values in life, such as love, such as shelter, such as food, such as clean air and water to have. And gee whiz, if they're taking all of this away, you've got to be a complete hypnotized idiot to go along with that. And so peaceful demonstrations and this, every way that we can bring about this kind of not giving them our energy, not giving them our attention, not going along with vaccinations, not going along with weapons of mass destruction, not going along with suppressed energy industrialists who have suppressed free energy systems that could transform this planet and give everyone freedom instead of slavery. This is what we've all got to do. And I think the economic matters to do that. There have been people that have called for boycotts of certain companies and or products during certain days. Those kinds of peaceful demonstrations, and then appropriately tying them, linking them to the greatest revelations that expose the solutions to humanity's suffering and to the media propaganda. This is what's necessary. The Illuminati to virtually do the same, to shun the agenda, and I said that I urge the Illuminati to put down their weapons of mass destruction and mass deception in celebration and honor of the 528 love revolution. Because if you simply realize, you're stupid. Every one of us have made mistakes. And every one of us, the Bible talks about, we're all sinners. Well, the concept is that if you don't even get what's taking place today, you're not only a sinner, but you're really ignorant. You're really dumbed down. You're really hypnotized. You're entranced in a culture, like the American culture, which is engaged by behavioral engineering through the mainstream media. And if you don't really get that today because you've been intoxicated by all the chemicals and the drugs and the petro pollution, and you realize that, and you don't even realize that you're more part of the problem than you are the solution, again, you're on your way out. You have made the choice, and consciously or subconsciously, it doesn't matter. You're still making the choice, and that choice has ramifications. And so I say the best choice is to shun what is taking place. Simply drop out. Open up alternative off-the-grid communities that are sustainable. Permacultural communities is where it's at. Growing your own food because you can't trust the levels of pollution anymore in even the vegetables brought to us by the multinational corporations and our grocery stores. You've got to take responsibility and shun the genocide.
Well, thank you, Dr. Len. We were referring to the fellow that came up with that concept was Cliff High, the creator of the WebBot. And just as a comment, it seems the thought that went into my head as you were speaking was that scene in the movie Network where everybody gets up off their duff and goes to the window and yells out the window, they're mad as hell and not going to take it anymore.
Yeah, I get that image also. And yeah, we're going to have to come up with something that's more modern than that one. But
right.
That's kind of like what it is that we're saying.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Romans. Len, obviously being very learned in health, with recent tragedy in Japan and the nuclear meltdown, everyone is concerned, especially in the Northern Hemisphere, since we have some dire forecasts from the WebBot reports that predicted the ill winds scenario playing out. As one of the leading health researchers out there, and of course not giving health advice, but if you were faced with radiation poisoning, and I guess you're in California at the moment, what would you personally do to protect yourself from the alpha, beta, and gamma particles from radioactive particles like cesium, iodine, strontium, and even uranium and plutonium?
Well, we're taking supplements, the brown seaweed kelp, chlorophyll, chlorella, spirulina. The Zeo Life product is exceptional. It also has iodine in it. It can help, and it's very powerful for detoxification. It was designed to help reduce radiation, electromagnetic frequency radiation, as well as ionizing radiation that we're witnessing here as fallout. And those are the types of things that we're doing. We're, as a company, healthyworldstore.com and Healthy World Affiliates, I mentioned earlier, healthyworldaffiliates.com. We ask you to partner with us by joining that. It doesn't cost anything, and then you have the opportunity to not only save lives, but you can prosper financially, because it's basically what we've done is created a referral network to do that. So these products are